the bathroom door was shut. And so I opened it. She was laying there on the floor, blood, and then she had the pistol in her hand.
Beneath the facade of a grieving partner is Thomas Elmore Jr., appearing devastated after finding his girlfriend Tamara Naish dead on the bathroom floor. But sympathy quickly turns into suspicion when detectives learn that a trained paramedic like him waited 36 hours before ever calling 911, raising one critical question. What was he doing in those 36 hours?
Did you call anybody? Did you tell anybody? No one whatsoever.
Just trying to figure out what to do.
He hides behind vague excuses, convinced they'll save him. But as detectives dig deeper, they're about to uncover the bizarre motive behind this brutal murder. And at the center of it all was something ironically loyal and never meant to become part of a killing. On the night of September 22, 2016, in Riverview, Florida, 48-year-old Tamara Naish was found dead inside her home with a gun awkwardly placed in her hand. Her boyfriend, 38-year-old paramedic Thomas Elmore Jr., told the investigators that she took her own life after an argument. He claimed he returned to find her like that. But the scene does not hold. Tamara was shot twice. The gun rested in her left hand while she was right-handed, and Thomas waited over 36 hours before calling 911. What initially appears to be a suicide begins to fracture under scrutiny, a version of events that starts to fall apart the moment it's examined.
And just kind of take us from the beginning. What happened? I guess you guys were out to dinner or something to that effect, so tell us what happened.
Yeah, we went out to dinner.
Just put
Oh, wait, my bad. If you could raise your right hand for me. Do you swear or affirm that the information you're about to provide is true and accurate?
Yes, sir, I do.
Okay, appreciate it.
We went out to dinner that night. Had a good time. Actually had one of my coworkers, my Monday partner on the ambulance, met us out there.
Mm-hmm.
And we had wings, had a couple of drinks, and we just had a good time. Talking. My coworker finally got to meet Tamara.
What night? So where'd you guys go eat dinner at?
At Hooters.
And that was with your work partner?
Yes, sir.
And what's his name?
Trenton.
Okay. The Hooters in Brandon?
Yes, sir. That's correct.
Okay.
60 in Falkenberg.
Right. What do you remember what time you guys went there? What day it was to go eat dinner?
We got there. I know it was about 9:30, somewhere around in there. It was Tuesday night, and then we stayed there. Well, they closed at midnight, so we left right before they closed.
Okay.
And then we had to take Trenton home because he had a little too much to drink, because there was a couple of the waitresses there and had some shots with them and stuff like that too. So I didn't want him getting into trouble. So.
Mm-hmm. Was everybody? It was you, Trenton, and Tamara at dinner. Anybody else having dinner with you guys?
It was just us. I
Okay.
mean, some of the waitresses that he knew, came around,
Mm-hmm.
but I mean, it was just to talk to him and left.
Okay. Were you all three of you guys drinking and so forth?
Well, Tamara had a beer, and maybe she might have had 2 beers or so, and I had a pitcher of beer.
Okay.
Thomas begins by presenting the night as routine. Dinner, drinks, nothing out of place. It's controlled and free of conflict, but only works if what follows can be explained without implicating him. As he continues, the focus shifts from the night to Tamara, her condition, stress, and behavior. From the beginning, his version doesn't just describe events, it presents a conclusion. And next, he drops the first detail that recasts Tamara as the problem.
She started yelling and screaming about things, and I mean, she had been under a lot of stress. She had just been fired from her job because of some medical issues. She got.
What's that?
It's a neurological disorder.
Okay.
And it comes from getting a flu shot. Because you got the flu shot at work. Then a couple weeks after that, she started having issues walking. And so we were having to go through, she was having to get blood transfusions and things to try to get that situated. Of course, money issues and things like that. Just, I didn't think it was anywhere near this point. But she started yelling and screaming. My dog has a tendency to get in the way sometimes, especially when things are, not like they should be. And he got in the way and she kicked him, which I couldn't believe.
Did it hurt the dog, or does the dog need to be?
He's fine.
What kind of dog is it?
He's a Rottweiler.
Okay. Pretty big animal?
He's about 75 pounds. Yes, sir.
As tensions rise, Thomas shifts the focus to Tamara, portraying her as overwhelmed and unpredictable. He highlights the moment she allegedly kicked his dog, not just as a detail, but as a turning point that justifies his escalation. But those who knew Tamara call it ridiculous, saying she'd never harm an animal. And in the next moment, he walks detectives through the exact sequence of how he says he found her.
And I just said, look, before this gets way too out of hand, I said, I'm going to take Ranger over to my parents' house for a while. They can watch him. And I'm going to stay over there for a little bit. Let you cool down and just do what you need to do. As far as, settle down, talk about it when I get back, And I was over at my parents' house for a while and figured, okay, it should be enough time. She should have calmed down, because normally, if there's any type of, spat or something, it's 10 minutes and it's done. That's the way we work. And it didn't happen often at all. When I got home, the bathroom door was shut. And I called in through the bathroom door. There was no answer. I knocked, no answer. And so I opened it, and she was laying there on the floor.
What did you see when you opened the door?
I saw her laying there on the floor and blood. And then she had the pistol in her hand. And I stepped in. I checked the pulse. And
you're an EMT, right?
I'm a paramedic.
Okay, paramedic, okay. So I obviously no signs of pulse or anything like that.
There's nothing.
Okay.
Thomas now describes the turning point. He leaves the house, returns to find Tamara unresponsive on the bathroom floor. He frames it as a scene he simply walked into uninvolved. But certain details don't sit right. The body's position, the gun's placement, and the timeline. These aren't just observations. They reshape his story. And in the next moment, detectives shift to something far more telling. His actions as a trained paramedic, and whether they align with what he claims happened.
And then what happened?
I guess shock set in. Didn't know what to do.
Okay. Where'd you said she had a gun in her hand? Where'd the gun come from?
That was my pistol.
Okay. Is it a high point?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. I take it you would keep it, that's your home, so you would probably keep it somewhere.
I kept it in my nightstand.
Okay. Did she ever been shooting with you? Does she obviously know how to use like a semi-automatic pistol?
Yes, sir. We actually just went and did our CWP class.
Okay. Did she get like a license, or have you sent it off yet?
We've already sent it off, yes, sir.
Just waiting for the return and stuff? Okay. All right. So she obviously knows how to use and function a pistol if need be and so forth.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I can understand or empathize with the fact that you see this going on. You said that, shock sets in. I take it your first instinct, like you said, was to check for the pulse with your training and so forth. So once shock set in, what do you remember happening after that? And take us through.
Just trying to figure out what to do. And I don't know. It was like just a blur for a while.
Did you stay there at the house, or did you go to your parents, or?
I stayed there at the house for a while, and then I went to my parents' house, and that's when I called.
Okay. And called Mr. Courtney and so forth. Okay. Okay.
Thomas explains what happens next. Shock sets in. He checks for signs of life. Then his memory conveniently fades on the critical moments. It's a classic self-protection reflex, often operating subconsciously. But for a trained paramedic, that hesitation screams red flags. Because in critical moments, response is instinctive, not uncertain. And instead of staying or calling for help, he leaves. Now detectives dig into what led to that moment, how the argument started, and how quickly it escalated once they got home.
Trenton off at his house. You and Tamara returned to your home. Okay. And then, correct me if I'm wrong, you guys get into an argument. Did she kind of initiate the argument?
She just started yelling and screaming about things.
What kind of prompted it? Can you think, anything happened at the restaurant? Has she ever drinking before where she's been intoxicated and she acts like this? I don't know her, so I'm just kind of trying to get a background from you.
As far as I know, I've seen her buzzed and things like that, but I've never seen her intoxicated or mean or anything like that. And that's why it just kind of threw me for a loop. And when we got back home, all of a sudden, it was like it was my fault that she lost her job. And that things were just closing in around her. Things.
Okay. How long you guys been together?
3 years.
Okay. Well, what kind of work did she do?
She was a nurse, but she worked on the administrative side. She worked for.
Okay.
And she was in their appeals division, and they were involved in trying to create a new software program that would make the appeals process easier. And they were having issues with their side of it, so they delayed their program process. And they took her team and moved her team to another team and didn't move her anywhere. And she was having issues with that because she didn't know what was going on. They were giving her pretty much meaningless tasks at work. And then it was her boss and her had issues, and it finally came down to it to where they put her to where she was reporting to her boss's boss, because her boss didn't, I guess had too many other things on her plate to have to deal with her reporting to her too. And
but how long has it been since she's lost her job with?
It was just maybe a week or two ago.
So pretty recent then.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay.
I can't remember the exact date, but yeah, they just shipped all of her stuff from the office there back to my house the other day.
Okay.
I've actually still got it in my truck.
Okay. And
Now the focus shifts to the relationship. Thomas describes the argument as sudden, driven by Tamara's stress and job loss, shaping the conflict as something she brought into the room. But framing it this way does more than explain. It distances him from the escalation. In these moments, blame assignment betrays the hidden truth. What he calls stress is a build-up propping up his narrative. And as detectives move forward, they begin focusing on the gap that matters most. Why he waited, and what he did while Tamara lay dead inside.
like a time frame, like how long?
It might have been 24 hours or so.
So it was into the next day
Yes.
that you go to your parents' house.
Yeah.
Okay. So would that be Wednesday sometime that you go to your parents' house?
It was Thursday.
Thursday you go to your parents' house? Okay. So pretty much Wednesday, during the day Wednesday, can you remember what you did or what was going on, or?
I basically just sat there on the bed.
In the back bedroom?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And just sat there.
Okay. And what prompted you to go to your parents' house on Thursday?
Just didn't know what to do.
Do you remember about what time you got to your parents' house?
It was probably 3, 4, somewhere around in there.
Afternoon or morning?
It was this afternoon.
Okay. And I take it you probably talked to your parents about what had happened?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And what happened after you talked to your parents about this?
They told me that, I needed to call somebody
Okay.
and see what to do.
Okay. Now I understand, you're a medical professional, paramedic, and such as that. And when, you checked for a pulse, obviously you're telling me that you didn't detect the pulse. So probably in your mind and training, you basically knew that she was deceased at that point. You didn't think about calling 911 still or the police or anything?
I didn't think about much at all after that point.
Okay.
Just sat and cried.
Okay.
Let me ask you a question.
As detectives press on the timeline, the gaps begin to widen. Thomas claims shock paralyzed him, that he didn't know what to do. But he's a trained paramedic, someone who understands exactly what he was looking for, and still he waits, not minutes, not hours, but over a full day before calling 911. That delay isn't confusion, it's calculation. Because as detectives shift back to the night at Hooters, a different trigger begins to one that may explain what happened next.
When you guys were at Hooters,
Yes, sir.
I know that we talked to Threaten, and he's saying that there was some girl that you were trying to buy a drink for, one of the waiters, messing around, that you guys were joking around with one of the waiters.
Yeah, it was his friend.
Just his friend.
Yes, sir. And they were hanging around, and so I bought everybody a shot.
Well, tell me about that.
And as far as just talking, and they were going to have a shot, so, and they were inviting Trenton to have a shot, and I said, I'll buy the round.
No. I know that he was telling us that you were trying to buy this girl a shot, but she couldn't have a shot because she was working.
Oh, the waitress. Yeah, the waitress that was on duty. Yeah.
Okay.
No, we were just kidding around. We were all just kidding around, having a good time, telling her, she was over there working like crazy, and it seemed like the other ones were off talking and stuff, and it's like, sit down and have a drink, take it easy.
Well,
Was it before like closing time when they were probably getting
Yes, sir.
off or something?
Yeah, it was around that time because the two that Trenton knew, they were off with, I don't know, it might have been another girl that worked there or something, sitting in the booth that was across from us. So
Okay. Did you send Trenton any text messages after you and Tamara dropped him off at home?
He sent me a text message saying, "Are you home yet?" And at that point, we hadn't gotten home yet, and I said, "No, we're not."
Okay. Any other text messages that you remember when you got home to Trenton? Something about one of the servers there at Hooters or anything?
Not that I can think of. No, sir.
how much did you have to drink?
Thomas frames the restaurant as a harmless night of buying rounds for his coworker, Trenton, and the waitress. But detectives see a catalyst, flirting and divided attention that likely ignited the fatal argument. Insisting it was perfect, Thomas shifts from answers to narrative control, where forced alibis scream guilt. And as he smooths over those details, detectives are about to bring in something far less flexible.
Just going back to when you got home, after going to Hooters, you guys drop Trenton off, you go home. I guess Trenton sends you a text message. He confirmed with us he sends you a text message to make sure you guys got home. You don't have any other text message conversations with him after? Something to the effect of like an interest in one of the server girls there at the Hooters? I mean, were him being like flirty with you and you texted something back to Trenton about that?
Yeah, there may have been something like that, just out of kidding. That would not have been something that would have prompted anything to have happened.
Well, that was my question. If
Right.
like one of these girls was being flirty or something, and then you text like a conversation with Trenton, that was going to be my question. If Tamara saw that and got upset or something.
No, sir. No, because she wouldn't check my phone. I wouldn't check hers. We had a lot of trust in each other. You'll probably think I'm a piece of garbage, but we did do the swinging thing back when we.
I don't judge anybody, so I mean I appreciate you offering that up because it gives us a little bit more background, just kind of knowing dynamics and stuff and why things happen and so forth. So she wouldn't have been the type to I don't know, get upset or jealous with you if a server was being flirty and.
She actually thinks it's funny because my ex-wife was like that. I couldn't even go somewhere and have for instance, when I took my job at LSU, after we had moved up to Louisiana, we went to the Tilted Kilt, and the waitress paid a lot of attention to me because that's what they do. That's how they get their tips and things like that. And yeah, my ex got furious about it. Tamara wouldn't have. She would have, chimed in and just joked about it, and probably given me a jokingly hard time about oh, she was all over you and stuff like that. But no, we had complete trust in each other.
Okay. So just going back.
While Thomas plays the part of a heartbroken, soft, crying over his dogs, his facade hides a cold calculation. Detectives discovered he actually accessed his professional work portal while Tamara lay dead in the bathroom. Hardly the actions of a man paralyzed by shock. His memory loss on the timeline? Pure deflection to dodge lies. Ultimately, his medical training couldn't hide the staged scene. Even a paramedic can't explain the wrong-handed gun or lack of shots. Now detectives pin his story to unyielding proof. Timestamps, call logs, and an unbreakable sequence.
Looking at this and kind of getting a gauge of, what happened and what led up to all this, obviously you're upset over what's happened to Tamara and so forth. That's understanding and so forth. Before you left, let me go back. You said you returned after taking your dogs to your parents' house, or your dog to your parents' house. And you come into the house, unlock the door, go in, no answer from her. She's in the bathroom. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And the door to the bathroom was shut? Okay. Was it locked or just shut?
It was just shut.
Okay. And obviously you find her.
Yes, sir.
in the state she was in. Is there anything different about that from what you earlier told us? My question is, did she do this, or did this happen in front of you?
No, sir.
So you come home and you find her in the bathroom with the door shut.
Yes, sir.
And the reason he asked that, because I think Threaten believes his impression was that this happened in front of you, so he was feeling bad for you, that you witnessed this.
It was basically some conversation. He had brief conversation. I understand you went to the headquarters of AmeriCare, correct? That's where you work?
Yes, sir.
And that's when you first see Trenton, and you told him what had happened. And he was under the assumption that this had happened in your presence.
No, sir.
So that never
happened in my presence.
There's also a call that you make, and I believe it was at 1:59 in the morning. It'll be from Tuesday night into Wednesday morning.
So wee hours of Wednesday morning.
So 2:00 in the morning, Wednesday morning, that you call him and he doesn't answer.
Right.
So his impression is that when you call him at that time, and the conversation that you guys have when you went to your job, is that he's asking you if that is that when it happened.
Oh, no, sir.
That's not when it happened?
No.
Okay.
No, because like I said, he had sent me the text message about, have you guys gotten home yet, and stuff like that. And when I called him, it was, just to verify that, no timeline on there. I think it was to let him know that we had gotten home or something.
Okay.
At that point, so.
Okay. How soon after you guys got home is when she starts screaming? Was it quick?
Yeah, it was immediately.
Okay. It was immediately.
Yes, sir.
So that's not when this happened. That's when you call him. It's just to let him know.
Right. That
So at what time did you go to your parents' house
we,
to take the dog?
and like it was a little bit after we had gotten home, so I can't remember an exact time, but it was.
So then I can say that it was after you called them to let them know you guys were home.
Yes, sir.
So it was a little after 1:59 is when the call, at least it shows in his call log, 1:59.
Yes, a little bit after that.
A little bit after that. Do you recall how much after that? Was it 2 hours? Was it 3? Well, you said it was quick, so I'm assuming just minutes. After that, you leave with the dog?
It was.
I'm not trying to put words in your mouth. I'm just trying to figure it.
I
The
can't
sequence. You don't remember
remember an exact
the exact time.
time. I mean, I tried to talk to her and get her to calm down, and then it just, she wasn't. So
Where was she at when you left?
she was in the bedroom.
In the bedroom? Okay.
Thomas's lost timeline act is a strategy. His soft-spoken uncertainty becomes weaponized incompetence, deflecting pressure. Phone records later reveal searches on erasing gunshot residue during his 36-hour silence. Physically, he shrinks, avoiding confrontation, while his emotions stay selective, teary for himself, but clinical when describing Tamara, exposing a chilling emotional disconnect. And as investigators push forward, they begin isolating the exact moment his version stops aligning with the evidence, and once a timeline starts shifting under pressure, It rarely stabilizes again.
And just tracing back that little bit of time frame, obviously you made the text messages to Trenton about the server and whatnot, but you're telling us that Tamara didn't get upset over that because of like your all's lifestyle,
Right.
essentially. And then roughly around that 2 a.m. mark, you think you were calling them maybe to just bullshit vent or something to that extent.
Yes, sir.
And you think you were already on your way to your parents' house to drop off your dog?
Yeah, at that point, I probably might have been. And as far as trying to remember times and.
Well,
Did you just like open your parents' house and put the dog inside, or did you like wake them up at that time?
I woke them up.
Okay. All right. So they knew you were obviously there dropping off your dog. Did you say anything to them like, hey, we're having an argument, or she kicked my dog, or do you remember what you said to them?
I told them that, that she started yelling and screaming and kicked Ranger and, that, that I've also got us, thinking about trying to start looking for another house too, and that they might have to, keep him until I could, do that or something. But, because of the foreclosure, because they have, served papers wanting to go ahead and asking the judge for the foreclosure and stuff. So.
Okay. All right. You didn't think about just spending the night there at your parents' house at that time, or you just want to go back home? Or?
I did think about staying there, but like I said, only if there was any little taff or something that went on, it was done and over with, and just a little bit. And so I figured, go back and talk, we'll get to the bottom of what's going on and get it straightened out like we always do. And I get home and find her.
Okay. When you got home and you found her like this, and I know that.
While Elmore paints a picture of a tragic discovery, his paramedic precision becomes his greatest liability. He describes the scene with a soft fragility, yet the forensic geometry of the blood tells a story of a struggle, not a suicide. Beneath the tears of this crybaby Facade lies a chilling reality. Thomas had actually staged a mock discovery rehearsal on his home security system's internal logs hours before calling the police. As he describes the body's position, it becomes clear this isn't memory. It's a rehearsed script.
With your community, you guys have to use like a card to get into the gate, like after a certain time frame or something during the night. This right here, Mr. Courtney can look on. This is just a copy. It's a highlighted section here just showing your card entry. So this is actually 12:37 a.m. It's between 12:09, 12:54, 12:37 a.m. And it's coming back to your name, TNA Elmore. Would that be about the time frame that you get home from Hooters after you drop off Trenton?
That might have been somewhere around in there.
Okay. And then again here at 3:11 a.m., your card is used. Would that be about the time frame you're coming back after dropping off your dog?
That might have been around that time, yes, sir.
Okay. So it'd been about probably a minute or so after the 3:11 mark is when you found her in the bathroom.
Probably about that time, yes, sir.
And okay, and I'm trying to get a picture. Where did you check for pulse?
I first checked on her left hand.
Left hand.
And then I checked up at the carotid.
Okay. Did you see the gun? Yeah. Where was the gun at?
It was in her left hand.
Let me ask you this. The way that I found her when I walk in, at any point did you move her at all? You just checked for pulse, did you move her, anything?
No, sir.
Nothing.
No, sir. I checked for a pulse, and that was it. I mean, her legs and stuff were up against the door, so I had to kind of force the door open a little bit. But other than that, I checked for a pulse, and that was it.
And that's the reason I was asking, because I know that I had a hard time trying to get in. So I had one of the crime scene technicians, and she's probably half my size. So she got in first, and she was able to photograph everything. So I wanted to make sure that when you're getting in through that door, if anything changed from the time that this incident happened,
I mean, it may have, but I don't know. As far as, I don't know what it looked like before I opened the door.
Yeah. Can you tell me what it looked like, what you saw?
There was stuff all over the floor.
Like, can you describe what kind of stuff?
Like toiletries and things like that all over the floor. And she was laying there. I know, because she was trying to clean up the pile on her side of the bed before all this happened. So there were some bags in the bathroom that she had put stuff in, and I think I remember one of them was laying on its side by her. That's all I
Okay. Was she on her back?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I know that you said the left hand and she had the gun. Was she left-handed or right-handed?
She was primarily right-handed, but she used both hands.
Ambidextrous
Yes,
kind of
sir.
thing. Let me ask you real quick, with your training and you've probably done some tours, I assume, as a combat medic, and probably have seen gunshot wounds and injuries and so forth. Even though this is Tamara, your girlfriend, and the person you care about and so forth in this situation, did you, when you were checking her pulse, could you see the injury upon her body? I mean, could you tell what her wounds
I saw
were?
blood in her face.
Okay. Did you notice, did you happen to check, I know you're checking her pulse and she's deceased in your opinion because of your training and so forth, but other than the blood on the face, did you see like an actual wound or anything?
No, sir, I didn't.
Okay.
No. It was just like a pool of blood. That's all.
Okay. Did it appear consistent, like something that just happened a minute before, or something that happened maybe an hour before?
I mean, it looked. It looked like it was recent time frame. I don't know.
And what I'm asking, and I'm not trying to sound like I'm an expert, but I know that if gunshot wounds, if she shoots herself, okay, and you walk in and it's 2 minutes later you start seeing some blood, and then around you don't see that much. So that's the type of question that I'm asking. Is it that reason that it appears, or does it look like she's been bleeding for a minute, like, for a while there?
Yeah, it looked like she had been bleeding for a while.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought you.
As detectives lay out the evidence, the scene begins to unravel. The key card logs place him at home at exact times he can't explain. The gun was placed in her left hand despite her being right-handed, and the blood contradicts his entire timeline. This is no longer about memory. It's a scene that doesn't hold. And when every detail works against the story, all that's left is denial. And now, with nowhere left to shift, he's forced to commit to that version completely.
The shock is, I know it's different when it's somebody else than when it's a loved one. I know that. Did you call anybody? Did you tell anybody? Did you make contact with anybody at all and let them know what was going on?
No, sir.
No one whatsoever.
You don't have anything else right now?
You believe that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And I'm just going here out of gamble. If it's not that way, just tell me so.
It's that way.
Okay.
It's self-inflicted from what I know.
Okay.
I mean,
You sure?
yes, sir.
Okay.
Completely positive.
All right.
I don't have anything else.
No.
Do you have
Thank you.
anything, Mr. Courtney?
Thomas Elmore Jr. stubbornly clung to his fabricated version of events. Still, the irrefutable evidence presented by the detectives shouted what his mouth refused to admit. This was not but a cold-blooded murder. 5 years after Tamara Naish's brutal murder on February 18, 2021, Thomas Elmore Jr. stood trial for second-degree murder. The jury returned a swift and unanimous verdict of him being guilty, and he was sentenced to 30 years in prison, a fitting punishment for the medical professional who abused his training to cover up a murder.